Hey guys, in today's video I will be opening up a Dyson product and then also giving a fuller review of the two Dyson air filters that I bought, which were I think called the Pure Cool HP01. So before we get into the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and let me know if there's anything in particular that you want to see. Okay, so let's open the box. So, can you guess which Dyson product this is? It's very small. Okay, let's just open it and I'll tell you what it is. Okay. Oh, there's another box in here. Well, that makes sense. Aha, here we go. So, this is a Dyson filter that I got, and it's compatible with two different types of models. So I have the Dyson Pure Hot Cool version, where it's the longer column at the top, not this circular one. So this is all the sides of the box. Here's the top, here's the bottom. And this, I guess the box is only made in Malaysia. So I got this as a birthday gift. I had put it on my wish list. It was about $69 or $70. I think the shipping was free. I'm sure there was some sort of tax. And even though I have two machines, I only got one to begin with because I'm trying to see if one of the filters will get dirtier and then need to be replaced a lot sooner than the other one. Because the one in my living room, kitchen, dining room area, I probably have on for about, oh, well, that's a good point, maybe 8 to 10 to 12 hours, but then also the one in my bedroom, I usually have it on when I'm sleeping if the window is open, so that could again be another 8 to 10 hours, so it may not end up that way and I'd have to replace both at the same time. Although I would think in the winter, I would use these less frequently. No, that's not true because it's also a heater. Okay, anyways, let's just open this. So, I don't really want to take it out because I'm worried I'll somehow damage it. Okay, this is as much as we'll take it out. They did package it very well. I think that's partly because it's a glass filter. So I think the outside part is glass. I don't know. Okay, before I ruin it, I'm just gonna put it back in the box. And I was toying with the idea of buying an aftermarket filter, but there's really just no way to know if they're using the exact same materials, if it's an actual HEPA filter, and if it's working correctly. So, I mean, that's part of the reason why you buy a brand name is its reliability, and so that if you have any issues, you can call the company itself. So I decided to buy the actual Dyson filter. And the review that I have for today, it's in no particular order. I just have like this list of things to talk about. So I've had the filters now for, I want to say, almost a month. I bought them on September 29th. And we're about a week away from Halloween, and the only reason why I know specifically the day is because a couple days later I checked Costco for some reason And I found out that if I had literally just waited one day, I could have saved so much more money. And, you know, I checked my credit card to see if there was some sort of price protection program, etc., or with Best Buy where I bought it, or with Costco for some sort of like price comparison rebate thing, but they didn't really have it. The only way that I could have undone purchasing these is if I would have boxed everything back up, returned it to Best Buy because I was well within the return date, but I didn't feel strongly enough to do that. It was just setting it up, and you know, I still had the boxes, but I was like, never mind, it's okay. So I spent $400 for each machine, and it was the cheapest model that they had. Through Costco, I could have spent the exact same $400, but received the one above my model, which had the Wi-Fi and the app, and it would also come with a free filter. I would have in essence got $150 off the model plus a $70 free filter. And then if you multiply that by 2, because I got 2 machines, the savings there would have been about $500 total, right? 150 times 2 is 300, 70, yeah, so about $500. So here's a tip. Whenever you're about to buy something, check Costco first. I know people who work in manufacturing, and they said that Costco always has the best deal because if you buy a TV, you'll get a free TV stand at Costco. Or similarly, like my Dyson thing, you would get a free air filter. So there's always some sort of freebie component there. So that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. So let's look at my checklist. Oh, here's another random tip, not about Costco and not about electronics, but actually about beauty and makeup. So I have a friend who had a friend that worked in beauty and in editorial, like at some sort of like high fashion magazine. And they were saying that if you ever buy makeup at Sephora, just buy the Sephora brand because it's made by the same people or the same manufacturing companies as, I think it was Chanel, or maybe it was Lancome. But it's pretty much the same ingredients, like very, very close. The quality is very, very good. So if you're debating, just buy the Sephora brand. Okay. What else is on my list? I have like such a long list. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so the model that I got, the Pure Cool HP01, and most likely all of these Dyson air filters and fans and like dual fan heaters, you should keep in mind that it is a fan. So it's not going to blow out cold air or make the room significantly colder because there is no Freon. And then I love the remote that comes with it. However, in the first video when I did the unboxing, I did mention that to open up the remote to change the battery, you do need a screwdriver. And then the battery that comes inside, to replace it, it's one of those like flat remote car unlock things. What are they called? The key fob? You know when you have a car alarm and then you unlock your doors. It's one of those flat batteries that's the size of maybe a nickel, not so much a quarter. Just keep that in mind, but that's a very small thing. When I first opened my box up and I put together my machine and I put it in the right place, I did only look at the manual for about 30 seconds because it's that easy to figure out, which was great. And then the way that I use my air filter is I turn on my window AC unit, but because of the fires and everything in California, I wanted the air filter. So I also have the air filter on, but I have it at the lowest setting, which is basically the lowest speed or how powerful the air comes out. So it's a scale of 1 to 10, and I only put it on 1. And then sometimes I use the mode at 10. For example, if I know I'm about to go to bed and I've left my bedroom windows open all day, but I always shut the bedroom door. An hour before I go to bed, I turn on the fan, the Dyson fan filter machine, and then I crank it up to 10. That way, by the time I'm ready to go in the bedroom an hour later, I would hope that the air is all clean, just because I've been running the machine for so long at such a powerful speed. So that's when I use it at 10. Sometimes I do use it at 10 where I turn off the air conditioner and I just want the fan, and that's also helpful too. The reason why I chose the model that I did, which is the shorter column, I didn't get the round one, I got the shorter vertical one, and then they have like a really long one. In my bedroom, I put one of the machines on top of the dresser, and if I had the very tall machine, it wouldn't have been able to fit between the dresser and the ceiling. So think about that when you buy your model and where you're going to place it. The other thing I was worried about is if I was going to put it on the floor, which I knew I most likely would for my living room area, I knew that the taller it was, the more you would see it in your line of sight, and also it would make the room look a little bit more cluttered or crowded because you would see this, not a tall, but you know, a pretty high piece of equipment, so it doesn't have as many clean lines, if that makes any sense. So that's why I went with the shorter machine. And then, oh, I wrote on my notes that it was less visually intrusive. Okay. Sometimes I make bacon in my air fryer, and I was wondering if it would help with the bacon smell. Not that the bacon smell is a huge issue. I don't know if it has, but I also don't think that's what it's made for. So that was neither here nor there, but I had that on my list. And then I was wondering, like, does it help with dust? But I don't really have a dust issue, so I also couldn't really tell for that reason. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is, because this is a Dyson and it's a very sound machine in terms of technology and science and the way that it's built, when you do turn on the fan on high, you hear like this low hum that sounds like a car, and it certainly sounds like machinery. Whereas I also do own like an old school fan, like a desktop one that I have on one of my nightstands. And when you turn that on, I feel like it sounds very different. The sound almost is the sound of the air being pushed, if that makes any sense. So when I use the Dyson at night, 1, 2, and 3, when you have it at that power setting of the strength of the fan, you can't really hear it at all. When you get to 4 and above, you start hearing it a little bit more, and certainly when you're at 10, it's, I wouldn't say loud, but it's very noticeable. It now then just sounds like a white noise machine. But overall, I would say that it's fairly quiet. I do love my machines. I'm very glad that I bought Dyson. I haven't had to obviously change the air filter yet, but in my video, the unboxing, I mentioned that was the reason why I chose Dyson out of GermGuard and Dr. Air or Air Doctor, and I forget some of the other ones. The removing of the filter is so easy and so quick that you could do it in 15 seconds. I compared it to taking taking off a lipstick cap and then putting in the filter, then just putting it back on. So that's my review for Dyson, and I hope that it was helpful to you, and I hope that you buy Dyson products or at least do your own research. And I hope you have a great night. Thank you for joining me, and see you in the next one, I hope. Okay, thanks. Bye.